Hey guys, TSMaster here. I'm back and I figured I'd start with a video explaining my thoughts as a Civil War buff, kind of my point of view, the pros and cons with my perspective and my opinion on the new American Civil War Black Powder Epic Battle starter set from Warlord Games. Okay, so going into this thing, I think it's only been out for like 3 months, 3.5 months or so. Of course, I'm kind of known for being the Civil War guy with my 6mm projects that I've been working on, and basically all of that, you know. Oh, there we go. Anyway, I'm gonna put that back down before I disperse some stuff. Always been a big Civil War buff, especially the past 2 years. I've learned a lot and done a lot of research, and just have fallen in love with the American Civil War. Just to kind of get my background for you on where I'm coming from here with this. Used to be a big World War II guy, but Civil War though is by far my favorite conflict for the past 2 years now. So anyway, going into this box set, I'm going to kind of talk about the pros and cons on how I feel about this box set, also the range itself, and the things that they did right, the things that they need to do in the future, and some stuff that they did wrong for the moment. So, in my opinion, of course. So the American Civil War starter set for Black Powder Epic Battles, this box is awesome. Now, when I was notified about this, when it first came out by TSMaster, he sent me the link and he was like, dude, you gotta check this out. Guess what Warlord Games is doing, which is very unexpected. I feel like it came out of the blue. The range to the like the scale of it, and also the American Civil War as well. You know, why didn't they start out with the Napoleonics? But they're definitely gonna do that in the future though, right? As we all know. But awesome though. I'm more than happy they started out with the American Civil War. It needs some love in the community, and it's an awesome time period too. That might just be because I'm American, but it's pretty cool, really. It's really cool. Some of you out there know what I'm talking about. It's an awesome time period to learn, and it was just brutal. Absolutely brutal. It's not as bloody as the Napoleonics, but it's up there though, especially for American history. Love the box set. This box set is a great starter builder starter set, but army builder, I guess is what I was trying to say. It's a great army builder. 2 of your mates can buy one each, and you're gonna have your army is gonna have 24 regiments that it comes with, 24 cannons, 24 generals. Of course, they're all gonna be the same, but if you don't mind not so much diversity within the models and different generals and stuff like that, everything kind of looks the same, then this is it for you. It comes with, as they tell you up here, 2,500 soldiers. That's a lot of guys. This is a great box set. The value is awesome for all that you get in here. And also you get the second edition Black Powder, a little tiny mini rule set. You also get this that basically has scenarios and history and just all sorts of good stuff, and also the rules as well for, I'm guessing it's Hallelujah, Black Powder Hallelujah or something like that. Or just, I think maybe a whole new rule set or something for epic scales. So I'm guessing that's what it is. And also you get flags as well, Confederate and Union. They're kind of generic, but for starting out though, I think it's just fine. There's the flags to regiments that everybody knows. You know, you got the 54th Massachusetts, 20th Maine, 69th New York, the Irish New York Regiment, stuff like that. Everybody kind of knows. Same thing here, but they actually do come with a lot more, as you can tell. And actually, what they should have done for this, and that's organize it by states. So you have like the Alabama flags, the Georgia state flags, Virginia state flags, stuff like that. They should have done that with this, but that's fine. It's fine for beginners and all that. You also get terrain in it too. You get MDF terrain, which MDF terrain is always a win for me. I love MDF terrain. You get a barn as well. You don't get the trees up here, but basically everything else you get besides the hills too. But everything else you get though. Again, 24 regiments, 24 cannons, 24 generals. That's not bad at all. Great price. And if you could just buy a bunch of these and start building up your corps and divisions and all sorts of stuff and just really go all out, which that's another con that I'll bring up in a little bit, which I did the calculations too, and if you buy 16 to 17 of these boxes, you could actually play the entire Battle of Gettysburg and have everything that you possibly could need besides cavalry and Zouaves and a couple other things, dismounted cavalry. Anyways, infantry-wise, the regiments, yeah, that's how many you would have to buy to do one regiment equals one regiment in real life during the battle. So anyway, I'll put that right here. Let's go through the cons or the pros at the moment. So again, great value for what you get in this box set. It's a great box. I'll start talking about the detail, okay? The detail is a pro. Now, in the beginning, I didn't really know. It's kind of hard with these miniatures. It's really hard to get the idea of what they really look like until they're in your hand. Now, I watched reviews and stuff like that beforehand on what they looked like and what size they were, but you really need it in your hand to be impressed like I was. I decided to buy this box set here to start out with and just kind of give it a try. And yes, I bought the big box set, but I figured if I didn't end up liking it, then I'd just sell it on eBay and somebody would buy it because it's brand new, because the range just came out. So that's kind of what my ideas were on it, and I ended up liking them. As soon as I brought them out of the box, I was actually blown away. Literally, I was actually blown away from the detail that is in the miniatures. The size is awesome. They come with bases to base the troops. That's another big bonus for me, for somebody who, with my 6mm project, I had to buy these little laser cut wood squares from like Etsy or whatever, and then have to glue each miniature on there, and they're all assembled, they're all together, there's strips. I like that too, but there's a couple of odds and ends though that I wish they should have done differently. But anyways, so black powder though, awesome, pretty cool. I'm not a black powder player, but this is going to go well for black powder fans. Now, getting that out of the way, the historical accuracy of it is what kind of bothers me as somebody who loves historical accuracy. The miniatures, all of them are the same. You probably already know this. You probably have already seen tons of unboxings of this box here, and you know what is in the box and what you get and stuff like that. And also, you probably have looked at the range as well already on their website and what else they have and what they've been coming out with lately. But they've kind of been silent for a little while now, probably like a month and a half. But they were coming out with a lot of stuff though, and a little bit ago. Actually, quite quick after their big announcement too, when this box set came out. So, historical accuracy. The sprues are all the same, whether they're Union or Confederate. Now, there's a lot of slouch hats in there, and cowboy hats, as some people call them, in those sprues, which that's just not historically accurate whatsoever if you're playing as the Union, right? Which I've gone the route that a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube have gone, and that's cutting the sides and the backside of the slouch hats and the cowboy hats to kind of make them look more like kepis, which I've done that already, and they look just fine. I'm not complaining about them. They look fine as long as you do them right and you don't really butcher them that much. But I don't understand. Again, I'm just an armchair miniature war gamer. I don't know how really these guys are made and the logistics behind it and stuff like that. And plus, I'm not a part of a big company or anything like that. But I don't understand why they wouldn't just come out with the Confederates, a sprue just for Confederates, and a sprue just for Union. I don't understand that. I mean, it's Warlord games. They're a historical. They're a historical company. Their whole success is based off of historical players, and a lot of those players are big historical fans, and they like their stuff to be how they were, right? And I know it's the Civil War. A lot of the uniforms are the same, but that's really all you had to do. That's all you had to do, really, and come out with the special units later on, which they already have the Iron Brigade with their hardy hats and stuff, and their longer uniforms, their flat coats or whatever, frock coats, whatever they're called, and the zouaves and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy. I think that's great to some extent. I'll get into that also a little bit later. There's a lot to uncover here, and a lot of thoughts that I have about this range, but trying not to get too far into other places and kind of stick where I'm coming from here. I don't understand why they wouldn't have just done that and just had two different sprues. I mean, you're already casting them in a different color of plastic, so that way you have the blue sprues, which is your Union, and the gray sprues is your Confederates. That's fine, and I think that's great for starter players, which I think we all agree, but I don't think a lot of beginner wargamers are going to be buying something like this with all those little miniatures and everything. I think the people who are buying these sets with 2,500 guys and all of these are already big wargamers and already big in historical stuff, and maybe they do a lot of black powder for Napoleonics, and now they kind of want to dip their toes into the American Civil War. I think that's the big I think that's the market that's buying these box sets and want to buy these box sets as well. And it's going to be a little hard to sell them when you're not catering to the people that are buying your products, that want to buy your products, So I just don't understand why they didn't just do something simple. I mean, you already have you can buy the regiments in brigade forms. I think 3 of them or whatever in a box in a brigade. You get 3 regiments per box, and they already have Confederate box and a Union box. It's not like how the Perrys did it and just did ACW infantry in one box, and you can make them Union, you can make them Confederate, or however you want. You can just do them however you want. I don't understand why they didn't just do that, the Confederates and the Union box as well, and they're just different sprues. You already cast them differently with different plastics. You already have different boxes for them with different logos on them and fronts and everything and names. Why don't you just do the last step? Just go that one step further and just make them, with kepis on them. And I wouldn't even care if they, if the guy who was sculpting them, just all you had to do was just cut the hats off. Just replace the hats on the computer, and then bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Send it off to the people who make the sprues, and there you go. That's all you had to do. I don't understand why they did it this way. I'm hoping that because the range is in its infancy, that this is what we get for now, and if that's the case, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Awesome. Hopefully in the future they'll come out with Union infantry, Confederate infantry. Now the sprue that's in here already, the same sprue that you get, the cookie cutter sprue, if that was labeled as Confederate infantry, perfect. I don't think, coming from a historical buff perspective, that's perfect. You got some kepis here and there, stuff like that. I think that's perfect. But they should have come out with a Union one. And the accoutrements, the equipment and everything, maybe for the Union, maybe have them all more the same. They have, because only in a strip of guys, which is around 10 guys, I think, a strip in these sprues, only about 4 of them have ammunition boxes on their backs that you see that are invisible. And that just, the Union had their ammunition boxes, so did the Confederates, you know, it just doesn't really make much sense. And a lot of them, you don't have canteens, as you can see on them. And the Union didn't really wear, I mean, yeah, some regiments did, but a lot of them, though, didn't have the their blankets wrapped around them like that, you know, going around like this and then tied at the bottom. A lot of the Union didn't have that because they had the equipment. They had the backpacks too, and they would take off the backpacks before they went into battle. Now, a lot of Confederates, though, they didn't have the luxury of backpacks and stuff like that. What they had on them is what they carried, so they would have to carry their stuff, you know. So I'm really disappointed in that perspective. But again, it's in its infancy, this range, and hopefully they do a lot of stuff in the near future. I hope they really put a lot of love to this. Now, let's get into that. I think that's a great segue to get into what they need to do in the future. Again, I mean, they're going Epic Battles. If you go on the website, Epic Battles has its own little category, and then it's the American Civil War. So you know they're going to come out with Napoleonic ranges and other ranges, which I hope they do. I think that would be so cool. American War of Independence, I would totally get into that big time. I don't have anything AWI, and that would definitely, if they came out with stuff, I would just be clicking the order button right there. Shut up and give me my money, and take my money, you know. So they're clearly going to come out with Napoleonics. Now, Napoleonic players are deeply historical lovers. It's all about the uniforms for them and the Napoleon's marshals and the different characters and everything like that. There's so much in-depth historical wise. If they're gonna treat the Napoleonics the same way that they're gonna treat this and do the cookie cutter stuff, that's not gonna fly with Napoleonics players. With black powder players, it's not gonna fly at all. Perry miniature buyers, stuff like that, they're gonna say, no thank you. I need more in-depthness, you know. I don't even think that's a word. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. So they need to get their act together on this. Right now, I think they're at a great starting point. This is awesome how it is. The fine cast, though, the Zouaves in Iron Brigade, why did you have to do in fine cast? Because now they're $56. The plastic kits of the regular infantry that you could buy right now are $36, and this is US dollars. So you can change the currency and calculate it out wherever you live. But it's $56. It's almost twice the amount of the plastic kits. Why did you have to do fine cast? Why? Why couldn't you just make sprues for Zouaves and Iron Brigade, and there you go, and then sell it? And I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that fine cast, though, is actually less expensive than plastic. Why the hell are you selling it in such an incredible price? You know? I mean, come on, that's just absolutely ridiculous. The generals, though, they look good. In the fine cast and all that, the generals look great. They only have like 2 generals. They have like Lee, Sherman, and that's about it. Or Grant or whatever. They need to add more. They need to put a lot of love into this. I'm hoping that they will in the future, because right now I'm impressed a little bit. I would say I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued a little bit, but I need to be blown away, and I'm not blown away. For me to go away from this and all the love and work I've done in this, which there's a lot of love in here, but there's also a lot of customability. With this, if they end up doing the same thing where I have options, I can buy different generals and stuff like that, and also buy other officers or whatever, brigade, division officers, and then make them look a little bit more like the generals I want. That's what I kind of did with this, with 6mm guys, is I just grabbed a bunch of aide-de-camps or whatever, ADCs, and I put a little green stuff and made beards on how the generals, the certain general that I was portraying. Super easy, super simple, you know. Even if they came out with that, they don't have to come out with every single general in a sculpt just for that general. I can do the rest. But there just needs to be a lot more love, and a lot of things need to change a little bit around here. And I hope it just comes in time, because that's the only way that this is going to be super successful. Yeah, for this range. And if they better do it before they get into the Napoleonics, because it's not going to fly with Napoleonic players. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. It's great. Like, I'm painting some up right now. I'm thinking about possibly replacing these guys with my 6mm guys, but again, that all depends on what they do in the near future. So I just bought this. I'm gonna paint the guys out of this and get them ready and stuff like that, and hopefully as time goes by they start coming out with more stuff, and I'll paint a little bit more and paint a little bit more and see where they go with this, and hopefully within a year or two this becomes something very dear and awesome, to me as a historical Civil War player. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I'll talk to you a little bit later about, and make another video about the projects, what I got going on right now. And I'm trying to get a whole brigade done, with each regiment being a national regiment with a full size and all that stuff. So that's in the future. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you like my review, my thoughts about it, and I'd say get it and try it. Thank you. TSMaster out.